What's going on, y'all? It's Steve here. So I just want to say this, okay? As of right now, um, okay, I'm not ready to have kids yet. I'm not. Just as of right now. But, maybe, probably, you know, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, maybe I will be ready to have kids. But as of right now, at 27, I'm not ready to have kids yet. And the reason why I'm not ready to have kids yet as of right now is simply because I want to be financially stable, okay? And, I also, too, want to be mentally and emotionally stable, okay? And not only that, but I also want to be with somebody that is also mentally, emotionally, and financially stable. And, and I only bring this up simply because, you have a lot of people in this world who are, not financially stable, not mentally stable, and also, too, not emotionally stable, just, popping out kids. And these kids, they're growing up in these broken households, you know, you know, growing up with parents who aren't mentally, emotionally, and financially stable. And, as for me, me personally, I want to be that parent who is, in fact, mentally, emotionally, and financially stable. Because, if I do have kids, right, I don't want my kids to grow up in a household where, their father isn't financially, mentally, and emotionally stable. I want my kids to grow up in a household where their father is, in fact, financially, mentally, and emotionally stable. So for me, I want to be, not just mentally and emotionally stable, but, most importantly for me, I want to be financially stable, because, $17 an hour in this economy, you can't live off of that. You can't take care of a kid with that. So for me, I want to be in a better position where I'm making, better money so that, when I do have kids, I could afford to, I can afford to take care of them. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, man, for me, as of right now, I'm just not ready yet. But I do want to be ready, because at first I was anti-children, right? I'm not even gonna lie to you. As a matter of fact, I did a couple of videos where, I was like, yo, I don't want kids, man. But, thinking about it now, I actually do want to have children later on in the future. You know, I do want to, keep, my bloodline going. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, in order for me to do that, I want to get myself, in order, financially, mentally, and emotionally too, and I also want to get with somebody, who is also mentally and emotionally and also financially stable as well. But for me, like I'm setting more standards for me because, in my early 20s, right, I've been very, mentally and financially reckless. You know what I mean? Well, I just said mentally reckless, but I've been financially reckless. I don't even know why I said mentally reckless, but financially speaking, I've been reckless. Okay, and I'm 27 right now, so 3 years from now I'll be 30, right? So I don't want to be financially reckless at 30. You know what I mean? I don't want to be financially reckless at 40, 50, 60, right? So, for me, I want to get myself, ready because as men, right, we have to be protectors and providers and leaders, right? Not only do we have to lead our family into the right direction, but also too, we have to protect and provide our family. And, I want to be that. I want to be that protector. I want to be that provider. You know what I mean? I want to be that leader that will lead my family into the right direction. I want to be that. You know what I mean? But, as of right now, I'm just not ready. But I do want to get ready because, like I said before, I'm actually thinking about, wanting to have kids. I'm actually thinking about, continuing my lineage. I'm actually thinking about it. You know what I mean? And also, too, I grew up, with, both my mother and my father in the household. And, with my father, I looked up to my father a lot because, my father, he showed me what a true leader is supposed to be. He showed me what a true protector and true provider is supposed to be. And, I want to be that same positive example for my children, because my father, he was that positive example for me. You know what I mean? If I have one child or two children or three children, hell, if I have 10 children, right? I want to be that shining example. I want to be that positive example to my children to let them know, like, hey, daddy got you. You know what I mean? Your father has you. I got you. Financially, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You know what I mean? But, as of right now, I'm just not ready yet. And this is just me speaking, right? But, yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got to say. Because I've been thinking about this on and off, and I wanted to get this off my chest. You know what I mean? But let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below, man. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video. Yeah, I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.